Welcome to another episode of Hip Hop Hoops Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Igadero.
And I'm your co-host, Chris Blackwood. What up, what up, what up, what up? Let's go.
Listen, we got a very special guest in the building today, man.
Listen, I brought the turtleneck out. This is a special moment. Special, real special. Let's go.
Listen, we've been trying to get this done for like 4 years, man, and we finally got it done. We got to shout out Kevin Chaos for making it happen. Out of all people, Chaos got it done for us, man. Shout out Chaos, man. Yes. We got Phil Dixon in the building.
Go.
Get it.
In the building, royalty. Canada royalty. If you don't know, now you know. Let's go, youngins. This is a history lesson. Pay attention.
Listen, Phil, we appreciate you, man, taking your time. We know you don't live in the city anymore, but we appreciate you coming back and spending your time with us.
Appreciate you.
A lot of love and respect for this, brother. We appreciate you for that, man.
It's my pleasure, bro.
So, listen, we want to get right into it, man. We want to get right into it. We want to talk about the beginning, man, of Phil Dixon. Just your story, how it started from the very beginning.
The very beginning for me was, well, go back to Jamaica. I left Jamaica in 1980, came here on my birthday, and back then I was more of a soccer guy. You know, I lived in an area called Village. And back then, you know, I saw the cats, and they were like 15 and 16 or 17. They're a few years older, and they were playing basketball. And I was like, man, what is that? You know, I'm thinking it was netball, but in Jamaica, the netball, you can't really dribble it. So I saw all these guys dribbling and passing. I was like, damn, that game looks hype. So I went inside the house, and there was a basketball game on, and I saw Dr. J play. And I just became instantly in love, man. I just fell in love with the game. I put soccer towards the side, started practicing every day, just, you know, playing pickup with the guys. And even though back then I was really, really bad. So I just kept practicing and just kept playing. And before you know it, it just started to evolve, you know.
So was that in Jamaica while you were doing that?
No, that was when I first came here. Because in Jamaica, there was no basketball. I was a soccer player.
Right.
But I used to see cats playing like netball. But I never really played, you know. I was more of a soccer guy, a table tennis guy. So when I came to Canada and I was living in Village, I saw like guys like David Shannon and, you know, there's a guy in the name of Patrick Dixon and John Rudder. And those guys could play, you know, Superman. I said, man, them guys could play. So I just started watching them play every day, right? And just, you know, they wouldn't let us play with them, but I was always watching them playing. And that just got me really, you know, interested in playing the game, and I just started practicing, and before you know it,
what's Village? Is that jungle? Is that another name for jungle?
No, that's Caledonia Village. That's
Caledonia
actually that's at Lawrence and Caledonia.
Okay.
So I lived there for like 2 years, and then by the time I was 13, going on 14, I moved to jungle. Yeah, but back then, I mean, I was still just going through my stuff. You know, I was just still having fun with the game. I really started taking it serious when I met Hooper and Mado. You know, Mr. Bob Mado and G.
Shout out
Hooper.
Mado. That's a goal for real, man.
Oh, man.
Phil Jackson of this shit, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like those two people, those two human beings, just you know, like they're blessings, man. Yeah, like, you know, like them coming in my life was just a blessing, you know, in so many ways, you know.
Was Mado? Did you see the potential in yourself, and you went to Mado, or did Mado see it in you and just like, oh, come here, let me work with you?
You know what, bro? My life, like during that time, my life was really hard. Like between 12 and 15, it was hard, man. My home life was really bad. You know, I lost my biological mom when I was about 8. So I was living with my grandma, and she was blind, right? So she was like, my biological name is Prince Philip Dixon. So my family and my close friends call me Prince. So I never really go by Prince because at the time I thought it was kind of corny. So I just kept it at Philip, not even Phil, just Philip. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So between 12 and 15, man, the lady I was living with was very abusive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, she had adopted me, and I came up, and it was really bad, man. I was getting, if I don't wash the dishes in the morning, I'll be sleeping in bed. I'm getting hits in my face and my head. So it was just really bad. So once I met Mado and Hooper, things just started changing. You know, for the better, obviously, right? I used to go to practice in the morning, like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and sometime, bro, my back, my leg, I'm in so much pain, but I'm still practicing, you know what I mean? I'm still doing my thing, I'm still practicing, and those guys have no idea. They won't even have a clue. the stuff I was going through, you know. And then, but what really changed was when I started to live with Bob.
Right.
My life just changed completely.
So like basketball is like I always say basketball is like therapy.
Oh man!
Once you get in between those four lines, you can just reality doesn't matter. It's whatever it's going on between those four lines, you just let loose.
At that point in my life, basketball was the only bright spot in my life. That was it. Nothing else.
Well, that's deep right there.
Yeah,
so with basketball, was when you started to play and you started working with Mado, what are some of the things that you guys used to do?
Well, what Mado taught me was he taught me discipline. You know, discipline, confidence, you know, work ethic. And for me, I was like, this guy used to go jogging 5 miles and I would go jog with him because that was it. Like his work ethic was just above, like it was just beyond. It was just 100%, you know what I mean? So I adopted that, you know what I mean? And my mindset too, and you know, it was like an outlet for me to go and train, to go shoot 1,000 jumpers. Like I used to take 1,000 shots a day, man. And sometimes I wouldn't leave the gym until I make like 700 threes. Like I used to make 40 or 50 threes in a row.
I hope you guys are hearing this,
like,
guys.
That's how, you know, like for me, I used to go practice for like 4 hours. I used to get 2 and 3 guys, and we used to have a half-court gym in Jungle, and I used to go 1 against 3, 1 against 4. So I'm practicing different moves, getting trapped, beating a trap. You know, I used to practice all those different things. So when it comes to the game, it was easy for me, man.
I think people don't realize, like when we
wired, sicko. No, like, real talk, bro.
No, the dedication that you got to have with this game if you want to be elite.
Oh yeah,
like, and I think people don't understand. I see the kids nowadays, they practice 2 days straight, and then they will never be in the gym for the next 2 weeks.
Yo,
and they think they're doing something.
Pylons and a trainer is great, but at the same time, you know, you need to have a 1-on-4, a 1-on-3 dealing with traps. You got to really stimulate the in-game situations.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
You have to assimilate it, right?
Yo, bro.
I spoke to Wayne. Wayne Smith is a good friend of mine. And he was one of my favorite players growing up, man. Shout out White Wayne.
Wayne
was elite.
Salute. Elite.
He's my little protege, man.
There you go.
So he used to tell me some of the things that him and Bob Mado used to go with. Because at that point, the first time I seen Wayne Smith was at Jarvis Collegiate Tournament, man. And that tournament was amazing. One of the best tournaments in the city.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm seeing a kid who was over 6'5" playing the guard spot.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, what's going on here? What are they doing over there? Right? And he was like 6'7", 6'8", and he was playing point guard. That was the first time I've ever seen that. And he used to tell me, like, Mado got him doing all kind of guard stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm over there in Mississauga playing the post, you know, at 6'5". But you don't
understand. I mean, there's a lot of coaches that tell you stuff, but Bob shows you.
Right.
Yeah. It's there's no comparison, man. He's on a level by himself.
Shout out Bob Mado. I know I'm playing you on Tuesday. Listen, man, I got love for you. I'm coming for your neck. I'm coming for your neck.
Let's
but
go.
if I lose, I lose. I already know what it is. You know what I mean? But I'm coming for you, baby. Let's go. You and Justin.
So who are some of the players that like you wanted to play like patting your game after? Were there any NBA players, local players?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of local guys, especially in my neighborhood. Like when I was younger, once I moved to Jungle, that's when my basketball really took off because then we had a community center. And then, oh man, the games were so intense.
OG, you want to tell them about the community center? Want to shout out the community center real quick?
Yeah, Lawrence Sides Community Center, baby.
Let's go.
Lawrence Sides Community Center.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? That's where everything started. You know what I mean? And back then, like our best players at the time was 3 guys, really. It was Eric Grizzle, Jim Clark, and Skinners.
Skinners.
Skinners. Those 3 guys were the 3 guys who, as a youngster for me, that's how I measure myself, you know. I said if I could take care of those 3 guys, I could beat anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
Yeah, man. And Grizzle he was the main one. He was
Eric Grizzle. Is that like Eric James?
Grizzle. No, that's Eric Grizzle.
Okay.
Eric James is our point guard.
Okay.
Eric Grizzle is our scorer, shooter. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And Jim was our scorer, our bruiser. Jim was our Mark Aguirre.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
bring it back to the bad boy days.
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
So, you know, and then Skinner's like our defensive guy, our Tasmanian devil. He's all over you defensively, right? And he sets the best screens, he rebounds. He's like a good team player, you know?
That's one thing. I remember watching an interview with Coach Mado. And, you know, shout out Carlisle and been out here, TV. But one thing Coach Mado said was, all right, I'm a Finch man, right? Denham Brown is my guy, is my brother. We worked out together a lot. And, you know, I always hear Phil Dixon, Wayne, Denham Brown. You know what I mean? And I took pride in that. And one thing Mado did say was, if he was coaching Denham, Denham wouldn't score that 111. But one thing he said about you was, like, you would drop 40 or 60. But at the same time, everybody's involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mado's philosophy was always 5 guys deep. You know what I mean? So I had to commend you for that. Yeah. You know, Denham, I was part of that 4, and I'm feeding nice because I know stroke that. You know what I mean?
And I know a lot of people are saying Mado, but I tell you right now, we had a lady named Jeannie Hooper, man.
Okay.
A female coach.
Yes.
And she's right there with Bob.
Okay.
Like 50-50. She's our enforcer, our disciplinary, super intelligent, loves us.
Yes.
Treat us like our own kid. I mean, on the weekends, she would have events for us, like go over, have like a movie night. And she lived out like in a farm up in Aurora. So imagine a whole basketball team at this lady's house,
going
in her basement,
watching
TV. She's feeding us, her and her husband.
Yeah.
So we were blessed. I know I was, especially going what I went through. You know what I'm saying? Between 12 and 15, and then experiencing all of that stuff. I was like, oh my God.
And the crazy thing is, to this day, you still remember that vividly.
You can't forget that, man.
You know what I mean? Shout out Coach Hooper, man.
How can I forget? Yeah, man. Yeah, she's an awesome lady. I love her dearly.
So I want to go to high school, man. Bathurst Height.
Yeah.
Who were some of the competitors that you would go against? Do you remember some of the guys? And I want to know about the recruiting process, man, because this is...
You see what? You know what's so crazy, man? Because in high school, I went through so many different times. You know, I spent a couple months in jail at one point in time. And then when I went in jail, I remember I was watching this guy on City Pulse named Fridge, and I was like, man, who was that cat?
Yeah.
Who's that? You know what I mean? And who's that cat balling and doing his thing? I was like, I want a piece of him, you know what I mean? And I'm 16, 17, and I'm in there going crazy, right? And the good thing about it, that once I got in there, once I was inside there, man, bro, the guards, the teachers, the librarian, they used to all give me gym time. I was in there 4 hours out of the day. I was in the gym working on my game.
How long?
I was in there for 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
Yeah, for 2 months, man.
That probably felt like 2 years, though.
Oh, it did.
Real talk. I know for me, I'll probably feel like 20 years. Yeah, hurry up, get me out of here.
And the thing about it, I mean, we could talk about it afterwards. Yeah. I'm in there on some bullshit, right? Pardon my language. But that's my first time really watching, and I'm watching this guy play, and I'm like, this guy's an enforcer. He's tough. You know what I mean? How are you going to be able to stop him, right? So this was my first time really seeing him play. And then, I came out of jail on the weekend in a tournament up in Scarborough, won that tournament, won the MVP, locked up for 3 months, came out, bobbed them, they bailed me out, came out, we won the tournament, the Leacock tournament, played against all these so-called, you know, Leacock had a hell of a team, man.
Hold on. Say what you're going to say? These so-called what?
No, I mean, well, no, you don't understand,
Talk
bro.
your shit, OG.
No.
Talk it.
You know, I was inside just dying to get out, to get a piece of these guys, bro. So you know what I'm saying? So when I came out and I played in that tournament, these guys have no idea how hungry I was, man. They had no idea. And the thing about it, that same weekend, bro, half of the jail staff was at the tournament watching, man.
Oh, man. That was off of your character. They seen the work ethic. They helped you out a bit.
Bro, I had so many fans after that.
Yes.
They even came to my offset championship game.
Look at that.
You don't understand. It was crazy. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, COs, all of them.
It's just the impact you have. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what that just reminded me of? You ever watch Shatas?
Yeah.
When the Shatas came back to Miami, and like you're talking about the Leacock guys or the Leacock tournament, all the players in the Leacock tournament, and you're like, yo, top Shatas are back. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, yo, real time, man. That was funny, man. That was funny. Yeah, had a little moment there, man.
At what grade did you know like you were the man? I like the way recruiting is now. It's so much different. Like back in the days, I don't know how were coaches coming across the border to see you.
Oh,
how did the whole process?
Yeah, my recruiting got crazy after a while. It got to a point where I just let Bob just took care of it because I was living with him, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it was really bad, man. I mean, I would go visit a school, and then when I'm flying back into Toronto, I'll be in the Toronto airport, and there'll be a coach from another university
coming in
at the airport, meeting me, asking me how my visit went.
Oh, so they knew?
Yeah, they knew I was going to
so
visit.
they had your schedule.
Oh, yeah, man. I was about to take 5 visits. I think I took like 6 or 7 visits, bro. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't make my mind up. You know what I'm saying?
So out of those visits, were there any before you committed? But like, were there any visits that were like, yo, this school right here, yeah.
Bro, all 7, man.
All 7 was dope.
I told them all I'm coming. I said, man, I love this place, man. I said, man, I love this place. This place is nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. They all think I was coming, bro.
Well, do you remember what schools you took a visit to?
Oh, yeah. I went to Florida State. I went to Seton Hall. I went to UConn. I went to Colorado State. Went to St. John's. Who else? How much is that? 5 or 6?
5.
I went to Fresno, and then I went to Utah, you know?
Okay. Nice. Mm-hmm.
Rick Majerus was still at Utah at that time, right?
Well, Rick Majerus, he recruited me afterwards because I went to UConn first, and then I ended up leaving UConn. Then once you leave UConn, you're in like a portal where all the schools will sort of see your play, right? I mean, see your transcript and see, and see your resume. So then once I left UConn, I got all these different schools start recruiting me. And then once U-Star started recruiting me, Bob really liked Rick Majerus, right? And I remember watching Rick coach when he was at Ball State, because Bob and I went down to watch Michigan, I think it was Central Michigan play. And it just so happens that they were playing against Ball State during that time. And we were watching Rick on the sideline. Bob and I was like, who's that big fat guy on the sideline going all crazy? But just so happened that he ended up beating my coach at Utah, man.
Right.
Yeah, so he came on and visit me, at Bob's place, and we got to talking to him. And Bob was like, Phil, this is a school you got to go to. So that's where I ended up going there,
But before college, though, I want to go back to Bathurst.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard so many crazy stories, averaging 40.
Mm-hmm.
You as a senior, like how was your confidence level against any competition in the city? Like how
what do you see when it comes to, you don't understand, my confidence level was just so high, like, because you see when you put time into something, and and it's like it got to a point where every time I take a shot, it's like just a feeling, I know it's going in. Because I know how many times I've taken that same shot. It's repetition, man.
Yes.
Nothing beats a rep, you know what I'm saying? So my confidence level was on a different level.
Message,
because,
kids, listen.
Some of my little close friends that were around me, my nickname was the Machine Man. Because when I go in the gym, for me to train and do my stuff, I enjoy that stuff. It's not like it was a chore or it was hard, you know what I mean? Like I get a passion out of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it drives me, right?
That's intense right there. Mm-hmm. Is that where Denham got his nickname from?
Yo, I don't know. Like, we used to call Denham the Machine as well.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my friend would call me the Machine Man, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Can you remember, a specific game where you like, yo, I crossed this dude over, I dunked on him, I scored 45 that game? Is there a specific game?
Oh, yeah, Riverside Church. See, my thing is that I get up for U.S. teams.
Yeah. Riverside Church in New York.
Yeah.
And at that time, they were like one of the best teams in the States.
They had Kenny Henderson. Yeah, they had Kenny Henderson, Adrian Autry, God rest his soul, a guy named Conrad McRae. They had Brian Reese. They had Daryl Barnes. And we're in a tournament in Montreal, a Sun Youth tournament.
Sun Youth.
Yeah.
I played in that as well.
6-9 against them.
60-9.
Yeah, I dunked on Conrad off the rebound. The ball, I just caught it, dunked on him. The whole gym went crazy, man. They started throwing balls on the floor. And after that game, even the coach was recruiting me to come and play in the summer team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And their starting 5, they all went to North Carolina,
right,
Georgia Tech, or Syracuse, right?
Led by Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson went to
and Kenny was the man, right?
Yeah. Man, oh my goodness.
He was definitely tough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was
so best players, man. Let's just get into it. Man. Best players to come out of Toronto. Come on, man.
Colin Charles, go ahead. Colin Charles.
Man. We got a list right here, man. You know what I mean?
This was a list by Colin Skinny Charles. You know Colin Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Man, shout out
Skinny. Great player in his time, of course. One of the best point guards to come out of the city at that time.
Bottom line.
He had a top 5 list. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And his top 5 was Bobby Allen at number 1.
Yeah. Well,
Phil Dixon at number 2. Andrew Wiggins at number 3. Leo Routins at number 4. And Jamal McGlure at number 5. Do you agree with that list?
Oh, come on. Of course not. Why would I agree with that list?
What?
First of all, I don't think Colin saw me play when I was healthy.
Right.
Like, these cats saw me play after I'm hurt. So all he could do is he could just go by what he saw. Like, and you know what I mean?
And probably what he heard.
And the reason why you put me 2 is because of what he heard from people who he respects.
Right.
But if you would have seen me play when I'm healthy, like, but there's no comparison, bro. No, come on, man. And I mean, you know what's so crazy though? It's after I got hurt, these cats start talking. You see, back when I was playing, all these so-called top dogs are coming to me and saying, bro, it's because of you why I'm playing ball. It's because
the top
of you.
shutter is back.
You know, it's because of you.
Listen.
So, so that's why it humbles me, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, and then after I got hurt, oh my goodness, you think these guys are on Michael Jordan, man.
Facts.
Where these guys are talking and running off their mouth. But I say, I didn't make the league because I had my adversities. I went through certain stuff, injury and whatever. What stopped you from going to the league? If you were such a hot shot, what stopped you from playing at the Division I school or going to or even getting an NBA tryout?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
and getting those NBA tryouts back then was
I just deal with
none.
facts. Yeah. I mean,
I think everything was tough. Yeah. Division I, everything was so much harder back then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you feeling the spice right now? OG, triple OG, Phil Dixon is in the building talking spicy.
If you could rearrange this order, how would you do it with this order?
With that order?
How would you rearrange this order?
Well, you know what?
Would you add? Would you subtract?
I have never seen Leo Routins play in high school, never. But all I heard is good things about him. You know what I mean?
I heard he was a beast.
Yeah, I seen him play once when he played for Atlanta Hawks. I was a youngster then, and they played at the back then. It wasn't the Hoop Dome. It wasn't the Sky Dome. They had like a little gym. I think it was the Maple Leaf Gardens.
Okay.
And the Atlanta Hawks played against the played against the Sixers. And then Leo played, and it's my first time really watching him play. But I heard good things about him. But based on guys who I've seen play, as far as the ranking, let me see that ranking. Let me see that list there. Oh, amongst those guys, I'm putting myself number 1. I'm putting Andrew at number 2. Okay. Jamal had a hell of a career. I'll put him at 3. Bobby Allen was tough in high school. I'll put him at 4. And let me see. And I'll put Fridge in there, man.
Right.
Yeah. I think Fridge doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, I put Fridge in there.
Can we give Fridge's government
Fridge wasn't flashy, but he was dominant.
He just got it done.
But he was
tractor trailer type.
He was dominant. Yeah, no, he was dominant. He was this dominant player, man.
And he's either running me alone.
Alumni. Yeah.
What was his name though?
I don't remember his real name.
Wayne Robertson.
Wayne Robertson.
Yeah,
salute.
That was his name. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know he was Patrick Shack's I want to say one of his first guys. You were also a winner?
But even before that, guys, even before me, bro, like this, I want to give love to the guys that before me, man. Like a guy named Terrence. Terrence played at George Harvey. He was a point guard. That boy was tough. Earl Moncrief was tough.
Earl Monk. I heard of Earl Moncrief
Earl was
before.
Tough.
I heard of
Darren Thomas was tough.
Darren Thomas was tough, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mark Henry, Rockcliffe. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all these cats, like everybody just forget about them.
Yeah.
But those are the guys I used to watch as a youngster.
Right.
And those guys would have motivated me. You know what I mean?
So, question in regards to, like you just named some real inspirational hoopers that inspired you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Now that basketball is on another level in the six in the country, do you feel a way sometimes when guys like yourself, guys that you mentioned, are not mentioned on the national stage to some degree? Because I feel like coaches that were around those times, they know. But for some strange reason, they got amnesia. And they don't really pay homage. Maybe they do to their top guys behind closed doors, but I feel like it should be out there on a platform that, hey, you got some guys way before you guys that are...
Especially how you guys opened the door.
You guys opened up the door.
You guys definitely opened the door for, you know, the newer generations, the Denham Browns, you know, myself, Jerome Robinson, Mike Smith. Like, you guys opened the door for them to...
Because back then, bro, there was only a handful of guys getting scholarship. Like, I had over 100 scholarship offers back in my day, in 80 and 89, right? There were just so many different, there were just so many, right? You know, that's why I thank God for Bob, you know. I use Bob as a buffer, you know what I mean? And I trusted him 100%. So if any kind of advice he gives me, I'd follow it, you know what I mean? So he was like, don't worry about those other schools, Utah. And he was right. Rick Majerus is a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a human being. You know what I mean?
Growing up, I thought like Utah and Bathurst had some type of connection.
Yeah.
But I honestly thought Denham was going to go to Utah.
We wanted them to go to Utah. Even Wayne.
Even Wayne as well.
Smith. But
before
you know
Duquesne, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I was happy that Denham went to UConn though. You know what I mean?
I was too, definitely.
I was happy he went to UConn.
That's what I want to ask you as far as when you made your choice to go to UConn. Why?
Utah.
It wasn't a very happy choice amongst Bob, and Bob's gonna see this, but it's true. Bob didn't want me to go to UConn, because Bob is a guy. He's about integrity. You know what I mean? Like he likes stuff to be upfront, straightforward, no bullshit. And with those UConn coaches, a couple of them was kind of shifty, and he had his radar up. You know what I mean? So he didn't really trust the situation. But I went to the school, and I saw the potential. And I spoke to Cliff Robinson, where me and him was tight until the day he died, you know what I'm saying? But I saw the potential of the squad, you know what I mean? And I see that this team I could grow with the squad. And at that time, nobody knew of Connecticut. Nobody even heard of the school. So when I signed it, they were like, what the hell is Connecticut? Where is that?
Storrs, Connecticut?
Storrs, Connecticut, baby. And back then, the on-campus facility hasn't even started to be built yet. And now it's a dime piece.
They didn't have all those alumni and all that stuff, those pros.
Yeah, well, they had just hired Jim, the coach,
Jim
right?
Calhoun,
yeah. So it was like a start of a brand new program. So I was a part of the beginning process, you know what I mean? And I saw that, you know what I mean? And just the love that they showed me there, bro, it was crazy, man.
So what was the reason, if you don't mind me asking, you decided to leave and go to Utah?
Well, I got myself in trouble. I went there for a summer program. And you know me, man, I'm a ping pong guy, you know? So I'm playing against ping pong with this Chinese guy. No, first I went and I was watching. And this guy is kicking these guys' butt and talking smack. So you know what I mean, bro? I go in there and I put it on his ass, start beating him. This guy called me out of my name, man. Called me all kinds of nigger and shit. I said, oh, man, I lost it, bro. And
over a game of ping pong.
Over ping pong.
It's a principle thing. It's not about the ping pong. It's principle.
You see, but because of that, no, and I rushed him and, you know, did what I had to do, got myself in trouble. And because of that, and I had a history in the past where even though I wasn't criminally responsible, I was framed, I still went to jail, I still got charged. Even though everything got acquitted, it's still there, you know what I'm saying? So that in combination with what happened with me and that kid in the summertime, they wanted me to like go to like a prep school for a year because I had got my SAT scores and
you cleared.
I'm ready to play. Yeah, I'm ready to play. So in order for me to stay at UConn, they wanted me to go to a prep school for a year, then let everything kind of die down and then come back. But I was like, bro, man, I'm hungry, man. I'm ready to go now. And then because of that, they released me. And then that's when all these other schools start calling now, right? And then that's when Utah came in the picture, like really, really hardcore. And then that's when Bob is like, man, yeah, let's just, you know what I mean? Time is at the essence right now. Utah starts school October 1st, and they were a trimester. So I still had a 2-week window. So it kind of worked out perfect, you know?
So I just want to get into, you know, you at Utah.
Yeah.
And, you know, the injury part, you know, I've heard so many different stories, you know,
so many
about the injury, but we would like to hear from you out of your mouth so you can clarify that story with, you know, with the knee injury.
You know what's so crazy? It was an exhibition game. We were having an exhibition game that same day, and we're at the student union. And as a team, we're just having our team meal. So now we're going to walk back towards the dorms to go chill out and get ready for the game in like 2 hours, okay? So there's about 4 or 5 of us. So once we're walking back from the dorm now, there's a computer showcase on the side, and other stuff like on the side, like just different vendors, right? But this computer store had a tempered glass, okay? And then me and my buddy Van Gray started wrestling, little point guard. He's a short, stuggy guy. He's always, me and him was always, we're boys, right? So we're wrestling. So he flipped me. So when he flipped me now, my legs come up. And no, but it's a tempered showcase glass. I mean, you need to have a sledgehammer to break it open to get in that bad boy. So my leg hit it and shattered it completely.
So are you telling me your leg was like a sledgehammer? League ready.
I'm telling you.
League ready.
The doctors then was asking me what's inside my leg.
Facts.
Because they don't understand how my leg could shatter a tempered showcase window like that. And I said, you know what, man, it didn't make sense. And then my dad just run with it. My dad is like an old school Rasta man, so he just run with it, man. Start, have me start, checking myself out and making sure there's nobody's trying to hurt me, you know what I mean? And,
right.
And then come to find out, bro, that, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was going up amongst witches, man, just around the wrong family, the wrong people, trusting the wrong people, eating from the wrong people. And once you do that, you know what I mean, they were able to hurt you, especially people who are evil, people who don't like you, people who don't want to see you successful, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds crazy, but this shit is real, bro. You know what I mean? It's real, man.
So were you able to play any games at Utah, or you weren't?
You know what's so crazy? After I got hurt, my coach, Majerus, he had gotten hurt. He gotten hurt 2 days or a week earlier. He had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. So both of us were in the hospital at the same time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at the same
Rest
time.
in peace, man. Rest in peace. He's
Majerus, definitely. This was 1991, right? Mm-hmm. This is 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And did he send Van Horn to the league after?
No, Van Horn came after me. Like, my last year was Keith's freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know the room, like growing up, hearing all these stories, like, you know what I mean? You hear about, Phil got thrown through a glass at a party or whatever.
We heard it all.
Or a shorty turned him down and her boyfriend came and threw him through a glass. When I was younger, I
never heard that.
I used to hear stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I also used to hear like, Keith Van Horn. The reason why Keith Van Horn is Keith Van Horn because, you know what I mean? He took your shine basically because you were out. You know what I mean? But like growing up, Keith, the stories were just mounting.
When Keith came in as a freshman, you could look at Keith and say, Keith's a pro.
Okay.
I mean, the only surprise was Andre Miller. Like, we knew that he'd be drafted, but Andre Miller was just an extremely hard worker. He never really had the skill set, the shooting, the running and jumping.
He was just tough.
He's just tough all around.
Yes.
And you know what I mean?
What are you, like a 12-plus year career?
More, 14.
Yeah,
14 years. Yeah.
He's
Shout out
on a
Keith
lot
Van
of
Horn,
records too.
Andre Miller, OG.
Yeah, man. Andre. Yo, George Karl love Andre Miller. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hear George Karl talk about him. That's his number one guy, man.
Out of Denver, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his number one guy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for clarifying that, OG.
No, 100%. 100%.
No,
now you guys can go to bed. Like, you know what I mean? Yes. Put the rumors to rest, baby.
From his own mouth, guys.
I was horse playing and, leg hit the window and I almost cut off my leg, man. Mm-hmm.
So when that crazy injury happened to you, did you find it was difficult? When I tore my Achilles, I just felt it wasn't the same for me. Like I wasn't explosive as I once was.
Oh, man.
How'd you feel?
Well, for me, number one, the doctor told me that my basketball career is done. That's what he told me right on the spot. He says, just be happy that you have your leg. We're going to try to save your leg. Mm-hmm. That's what he told me. He's going to try to save my leg. You know what I mean? Like, that's how bad it was cut, So that was my focus there. Just to say I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to walk again, right? Anything else was just going to be gravy, right?
Everything will be a bonus.
Yeah. But then, I worked hard for like 2 years, I came back and I started playing. But I mean, what really helped me from that point on was all my other fundamental skills. Like I was able to handle the ball. I was able to shoot it. Right. I was always a good passer. Right. So those things I still had with me, but I lost my athleticism. like, yes, I could jump, but I don't jump the same. Right. I can't,
just wasn't the same.
I can't flush on guys the way I usually do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that part of my game really, really changed, right? And then once that changed, that's when you get all these different cats now start, instead of putting themselves up, they would knock me down to uplift themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how it started. You know what I mean? Not what was going on, right?
Was that frustrating on the court when you actually started when you got back on the court? Was
Hell
it frustrating?
Yeah,
damn, I can't.
Oh yeah, it was frustrating. But see, for me, I always try to find a different way, find another way of of being impactful. You know what I'm saying? If I can't drop 40 doing other things, then let me try and drop 40. But if I could post you up or all little small things, like my IQ got even sharper, you know what I mean?
Mind of a hooper, man. Sicko, OG.
I had to improvise, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So question.
Mm-hmm.
Who had the better ballers in the city? Let me just dive right into it.
Better ballers?
Yeah, from your perspective, you know what I mean? I represent.
Shout out Jordan, man, in the building.
I represent Jane and Finch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Malton,
and I'm like, yo, I got a lot of brothers and OGs from Jungle City, obviously.
I'll tell you right now.
You know what I mean? And we go at it all day. Shout out Regent, shout out Rexdale, shout out Scarborough. There's a lot of areas that got some solid hoopers.
I'm not sure.
But I want to hear it from the goat's mouth himself.
I'm not sure what it's like now, but I just know back in the late 80s and 90s that we used to have a tournament in Jungle, and we used to run that, man.
We used to run it.
Yeah.
So Jungle City.
But no, I mean, we used to rotate.
Okay.
Like over the summertime, there wouldn't be one team really running the whole thing.
Okay.
They used to have this older guys, like the TNT. Back then I was like 14 or 15. These guys are like 19, 20, like the Tom Forsters and the real old heads, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So those guys, for that level, they used to run it. Our age group, we run that, man. But I'm a type of guy, bro, I used to play on 4 or 5 different teams, man. So I'm in Regent Park. I'm in Jane and Finch. Yeah. I play for Top Gun. I play for man.
Shout out Top Gun.
Shout out Top Gun.
Because I used to go play pickup ball in different neighborhoods. So I had all kinds of friends. I had all kinds of boys.
You were good everywhere.
Yeah, I had no enemies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The only enemies I know that I had is some of the cats where I grew up in the jungle, and that's to just envy and jealousy. But as far as like having a beef I don't have that stuff.
Okay, so some of the places that you used to hoop at, because you're not just gonna go hoop at any area. You're going to find where all the competitions at.
I used to go to Driftwood. Okay, I used to go to Oakwood Collegiate. Okay, I used to go up to Scarborough. Okay, I used to go out George Brown.
Where in Scarborough? Just so we can, because I know my East End guys will be like, yo, Woods. I don't like the way you're just saying just Scarborough. Get specific.
They always say
the
that
outdoor court down Warden. So like Warden there.
All right, there you go, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, they used to have all kinds of tournaments in Scarborough too, right?
Yes.
And those guys in Scarborough, man, them guys are ballers, man.
Definitely ballers.
The
hell
Roots,
yeah.
They had a squad back in the day called Roots.
Yes.
With Martin Keene and the Henry brothers. Ooh. And I'm telling you, man, that squad was tough, man. Yeah, man. Them guys used to battle us, man.
Yeah, they're definitely tough.
So when it comes to Canada basketball, okay, because I know you're a student of this regardless.
Oh, yeah.
When was or is the best era? Like, it's evolving. Yeah. So I know it's a double-sided question.
Well, when was the last time we made the Olympics? When did we make the Olympics? Because I know when I played with the Canadian national team, I was, we never really had much success at all. We weren't really ranked, The number one success I had was in 1991 with the World University Games in England. Mm-hmm. We won silver. We lost to the U.S. in the finals. The U.S. had, Grant Hill and all the top shotters at Duke and those guys, right? And they beat us. Right. But that was apart from then. We never really had much success at all.
So watching it now, like...
I think now these guys could be great, man. Okay. Yeah, because look how many guys we have in the league.
It's a beautiful thing.
I think they should just build a team around Shai around Shea. That's it.
You know, Eggs is the advocate for getting him on the Raptors. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we're gonna have to give him a few pieces.
That's a lot of pieces to get Shai.
Let's give up those pieces. I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah. I'm okay with that. He's worth it. He's worth it.
Definitely. Yeah. He's participating in the All-Star game.
And Nikhil ain't no joke either.
He ain't no joke.
Oh, Nikhil ain't no joke.
He ain't no joke. No. We got to get him over here too, man. Minnesota lucked out. They better utilize him properly. Yeah.
But it just tells you that our national team could be something special.
It could be.
You know, with the right pieces, the right players, and with the right coaches. You know, I'm not sure if Nurse is the right guy for the team. You know, who knows, right?
Because this is a time where we can actually make a full NBA roster. Like, this has never been done in Canada.
There's going to be NBA guys getting cut, man, from this roster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how deep the roster is. It's a deep roster.
How do we get all players to commit, though? I think that's the only question.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that.
I think it was contract issues, and at that time, guys weren't settled yet. Yeah. So I think guys want to be settled with contracts and stuff like that.
I think guys, get their feelings, a lot of ego involved, bro. Yeah, that's where it starts. A lot of ego involved. And sometimes it's the athletes, it's their parents. It's their parents' feelings that are really hurt. And they're holding their kid back, you know what I mean? So who knows, man? It's just... But if they all just commit...
It'll be special.
And the world knows that too.
Yeah.
The other leagues, the other players, them know that too.
They definitely know that.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about basketball in a whole? Like, we're talking about you in the 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And to see all the guys in the NBA now. And it's like you helped jumpstart that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Your son Jordan, he tells stories about you. I tell stories about you. I haven't seen you play in your prime, but I've seen you when you were at the Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Well, and you won that.
You won that. But
put that on notice.
But the only reason I won that was because of him.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't want to go in it, man. Because at the time, I was 70%, if that. You know what I mean? Like, I had to start training again, start doing lifting weights and working out and working on my shooting and you know what I mean? I had to. Like, I didn't just get up and go play.
Right.
I had to prepare myself for that, you know what I mean? Because I know there's guys out there who want a piece of me, right? And I said, bro, I'm going to beat you. Even with a bad leg, I'm going to beat you. like, that was my mindset, bro. You have no idea, man. Yeah, man.
But how do you feel? Basketball now, we got maybe 30 players in the NBA from Canada, Toronto. How do you feel? You were a part of to jumpstart that.
I love it, man. I love it. I just think it's just evolving. And it's good when you see other people, like Rowan Barrett. His son is he's gonna be a Hall of Famer one day. You know what I'm saying? Right. Look at Jamal Murray. You know what I'm saying? Look what he's shy. Andrew, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think every year it's going to be more and more. And there are guys from Montreal, there are guys from BC, from Calgary, from Hamilton.
From Halifax, all over the place.
So you know what I mean? It's just, it's a beautiful thing, man. I just look back when I used to play against those US boys, and they used to be like, man, you guys play basketball in Canada? I thought all you guys play is hockey.
Yeah.
I said, after the game, just come and talk to me after the game. You put it on them, right?
Yeah.
Then after the game, they're like you're my best friends.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But so that's how you earn your respect, right? You know.
So playing for Team Canada back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like as a student watching from a distance, I always seen that one or two token black guy, and maybe the one guy is from the city.
Mm-hmm.
The other is from the burbs or another province or whatever the case may be. What was that experience like in regards to just...
Yeah, it was, I mean...
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the white guys can't hoop. Obviously they can. You know what I mean?
But that was going on even before me, right? Mm-hmm. That was going on with Jack Donahue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I played for a gentleman named Shields. That was my very first time where he gave me an opportunity. I think I was like 18 or 19 or 17, something around that. Right. And and he was the first coach to give me a shot. But back then it was only about like two of us, and three of us. And then when you would ask why, he was the attitude thing, the wrong attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the entire team, 6 of his university players were on the team. And then I'm thinking back, I know Rockcliffe could eat this guy. You know what I mean? Different so. You know, they always use the attitude thing as a reason why certain guys don't make it.
But is it a reason? So knowing that, like, shouldn't we show our young guys, like, yo, character is everything. Like, you got to figure out a way to fit in. It's a sad game, but that's the game you got to play.
Yeah, I think the game. Yeah, I think it's a different ball game now because these guys are all pros now, right? These guys are all, you know, they're better players, a better team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a different ball game now. Plus, I don't think Nick Nurse, he's a coach. Like, he's not a Canadian citizen, so he has nothing vested in that, right? He wants to see the best players play, and he's trying to win a gold medal, right?
That's it.
Yeah, so.
Was playing for Jamaican national team an option for you? I played for the junior national team. But.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about it briefly, but back then there was just no money there, right? There was no money, you know what I mean? So I never really, And I was sort of hanging on then because I was hurt. I was like 70%. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even the same player, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I was just trying to get a little contract here and there over Europe somewhere, right?
Right.
You know, and that's pretty much what I was trying to do all the time.
Did you end up playing professionally? Like, even
I played a little bit. Oh, yeah.
Where
for a few years. I was in Colombia. I was in China.
Nice.
I was in Venezuela. I played for the Marinos.
Nice. How's the experience out there?
Oh, it was fun. It was easy.
Yeah.
But the only problem is that they want you to play every minute of every game. And sometimes you're playing 2-3 games in a week, and it's 48-minute game. And you know what I mean? It's like 12-minute quarters, bro.
12-minute quarters.
Yeah. But what did me in was when I was in Hong Kong, man, because the court was concrete. So after a game, bro, I couldn't even climb the stairs to go to my apartment. It was so painful in my knee. You know what I mean?
For a second.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Concrete, huh?
Yeah, it was concrete, man. They just paint the concrete. They paint it brown and put all the linings and stuff in it, man. But it was concrete, bro. Make it look like a wood, but it was concrete.
And these are the stories you don't hear. Like, man's like, yo, I'm going overseas to hoop, but like the conditions and all that, crazy.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That is wild, man.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about the basketball scene right now?
Oh, I love it, man. I like my grandson is 13, and I think it's gonna be a great opportunity for him, you know. Yeah, man. So you know what I mean. It's good for the youngster.
Now,
yeah, it's good for the youngsters, right?
You coaching right now? You mentoring?
I coach him a little bit. I do mostly personal stuff with him.
Nice.
But my boy Mullins is his coach.
Okay.
O'Neal Henry.
Yes.
Yeah, he coaches him.
All right. Nice. Lucky, eh? Cool enough. You got the cheat code, Jordan. You got the cheat code, man.
For sure. I know you know you're from the Jordan era.
Yeah.
But you like LeBron. You're a LeBron guy. You know, I just seen some of the stuff that you talk about.
Oh, hey, look at him. He hates LeBron. You know what it is though? You see what LeBron, yo? What LeBron is doing as a youngster, those are things I envision doing. Right. Like taking care of my boys, like going to the league and bringing my boys and making sure that they don't have to work for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff used to fuel me, man. So when I see LeBron is doing that stuff and the impact he's making, I'm thinking to myself, man, how could anybody diss this dude? Right. I don't get you. I don't understand. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So my love and respect for him is on a totally different level. Like, I've been around Jordan. I know what Jordan is like. So when all these people are talking, oh, he's this, Jordan is an asshole. Like, he is. I'm telling you. Yo, he is. He is. Like, he's a great ball player, but the guy is an ass. 100% ass. He's no Magic Johnson. I've been to Magic Johnson's party, me and Martin Keene, you know what I mean? So we've been around those guys. We see them. Yeah, Jordan is, he's a great player, but he's an ass.
Have you met Isaiah Thomas?
Yes, oh yeah, I met Zeke.
What are your thoughts on Zeke?
I love Isaiah. Isaiah used to run the Raptors.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So Jordan, LeBron, you're gonna take. Forget about he's an asshole.
Yeah. No. Just the game.
Let's talk about basketball. Well, Jordan or LeBron?
For basketball?
Just basketball.
Well, me personally, I like LeBron better, but I think Jordan's a better scorer. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about overall.
Yeah, I like LeBron better. Me personally. Just overall.
You'd rather play with LeBron because he's going to pass you the ball.
That too. You know what I mean? But Mike is a specialist, man.
Specialist.
Yeah, he's a specialist.
Can't have two specialists on the same team.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And he's an entertainer, and he's blessed, and he's super talented. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's just a scoring machine. But I just think LeBron is just overall, he just gets it done.
Top 5 players of all time.
My top 5 player of all time?
Top 5 players. In order.
You're
going LeBron number 1.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going Jordan number 2.
Right.
Then I'm going to Wilt number 3.
Wilt's numbers are wild.
Oh, come on, man.
Wilt's numbers are wild.
How could you not, you know what I'm saying? Go, yeah.
I think people say because he didn't win a lot of championships, but he was going against them Celtics teams that were stacked, right?
Yeah, man.
And he was by himself.
See, if I'm going based on championship, then I'm putting Bill Russell.
Yeah.
I'm just going straight off of talent.
Yes.
Just what I've seen, just talent. You know what I'm saying? Just the eye test, man. Then I'm going Magic.
Magic 4.
Yeah. And then I'm going Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor.
Yeah. I know he's an old school guy, but that boy was Dr. J before Dr. J, man. That guy was averaging 20 rebounds a game.
He got one of the highest scoring averages, man, of all time.
That guy was a killer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Do your research. So question. Do you, we don't live in the world of regrets at times or the what ifs, but sometimes we kind of dabble into it when you're in reflection mode.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to your career, if you didn't get caught up play fighting and no injuries, Utah, and everything else in between, well, how do you think your career would have ended up?
There's no question I've been in the league.
Of course.
There's so many guys I played against, even after I got hurt in college, like Damon, because Damon came and play for the Raptors, and he and I became friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, BJ Tyler, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that I played against who respected, even Kenny Anderson, right? You remember me from back in high school, right? A guy named Daryl Barnes. He went to Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? Those are the guys. I met a few of them afterwards. Even at the Battleground in New York City, I met a few of them, and we got to talking and stuff, and yeah. And they knew my history, right? But in the U.S., that stuff happens a lot, man.
It does.
Yeah.
Definitely happens. Dave Lato, I seen him when I was a youngster, and he mentioned, you were one of the greatest players.
The assistant coach of UConn.
Assistant coach from UConn that he's ever seen, not just Canada. He said that's the best coming out of your country, for sure. Mm-hmm. But top 3 players he's ever seen. And he mentioned you with Ray Allen and Ben Gordon. Those are the best players he's ever seen.
Whoa.
So that was wild when
it's
you told me that.
It's a high compliment there. Oh, yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. Well, Dave have seen me drop some numbers, man. Yeah.
Dave Lato.
Yeah. Dave have seen me in competition, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he seen me, I think, drop like 50 against Christian Laettner in Rochester. I think he was at that game. Yeah. It was a Metro All-Star against the Rochester All-Star team.
Yeah, because Christian Laettner and Cliff Robinson are from
they're in
Buffalo, New York area.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I won the dunk off and the 3-point contest in that little thing that they had there. So,
that's never happened before, huh?
Yeah.
Say so nonchalant.
I've never seen someone win the dunk contest, then go shoot out.
Yeah,
we've never seen that happen before. I need to see that happen in the NBA, man.
Let's see it. You hear MJ winning. There was one year he won Defensive Player of the Year and scoring title.
And MVP.
And MVP, right?
That's tough.
That's tough.
I don't know who can pull that off, man.
Giannis, maybe?
Nah.
I'm just
saying
he
won't be able to shoot enough. He can't shoot it good enough. I don't know who. I don't know what player can pull that off today's game.
Yeah.
To win both.
It's gonna be tough.
That's what make MJ so special, man.
Right.
And Kobe's no chopped liver either. Like Kobe.
Straight up. Kobe was probably the closest to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man.
Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
After you did what you did, you kind of left your doodle stain in the white boxer. Putting everybody on notice that I'm here, didn't go nowhere.
That was the first time I actually seen you play.
Straight up, that was my first time. I was like,
I just heard the stories. I ran.
I just heard the stories.
I gotta see this.
Guys,
I gotta see this.
I wasn't even going to play in that tournament, and this guy made my life hard.
Shout out Jordan for making it happen.
Yeah,
we go in the change room, and all the players are in the change room sitting down. This guy goes in there and start talking smack.
Straight up.
Which one of you guys are coming in second?
Just said it straight up.
Telling the guys up there, right? I was like, yo, let's get these guys ready for me.
I didn't even know that, after you dominated the Toronto one, from Toronto go straight to New York?
Yeah, it was in New York after.
Wow. What? So you want to give a little insight on how that experience was? Battleground. I didn't even know he won the New York.
No, I didn't win that one. I didn't win it.
No, I'm just saying. I lost. You won.
Okay.
I played in it though.
You played in it though.
Yeah, I lost. Oh yeah, it was intense, man. It was in Madison Square Garden, right?
In the Garden.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was all Carmelo Anthony, Ray Allen, all the NBA players were there. It was everybody. It was packed. It was a packed house, man.
Wow.
It was intense.
How far did you go? Like,
I lost in the first round.
First round.
Yeah.
I mean, 70% though. Like.
Oh yeah. Well,
it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who'd you match up against? Do you remember?
It was some guy named Mike, some New York City street baller guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was pretty good though.
Like younger?
Oh yeah, they were all younger than me, bro.
Right. They're all younger.
They're all I was like 33. Them guys were like 21, 22 years old, man. 23. Right. Yeah.
Damn.
That is wild.
That's wild.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there,
how many years did we have that? It was like
I was in my mid-30s. That was 2004.
It was for 3 years running? That
I think
sure. Vidal won twice.
Yeah, so it was 3 years then, yeah.
Yeah, you won the first one, and then Vidal won the second.
Yeah. I thought Mike Kennedy won it 1 year, no? Didn't Mike Kennedy win it a year?
You might be right. Yeah. You might be right.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Shout out Mike Kennedy, man.
I'm not sure.
I just remember the picture of you sitting in the crown chair, and then you had the crown, the chair, and you had the crown on your head?
Yeah.
That picture was legendary right there.
Legendary. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm good with
this was,
man.
Yo, OG, Phil Dixon, thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
You answered a lot of questions.
Absolutely.
A lot of rumors, a lot of myths.
Yes.
Comes to an end on this platform right here.
Right now, baby.
I'd like to thank you. Continue to inspire, man. I know behind the scenes, you're inspiring a lot of folks.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And shout out Bob Mado. He's still inspiring the young youth of today.
I think Bob will coach until he's 100 years old.
I think so too. Like I was told he was supposed to retire like 2 years ago. No. He's still in the trenches.
He'll be bored to death.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But just continue doing what you're doing, man. You know
Thanks,
what I mean? You
appreciate it, man.
You are a staple in Canada basketball.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? This is an honor for me to just have this dialogue. You know what I mean? Because we hear stories and we can only base off what we hear. Because what's the odds of me actually getting a chance? You know what I mean? My brother had a great relationship with Jordan, so I could try and pick Jordan's brain a little bit. But hearing it from you, full circle.
Something different,
man. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure.
To come bless the Hip Hop Hoops platform, man. Iggs, you have anything to add?
Yo, it's an honor, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys.
When we spoke on the phone that day, I couldn't believe it. We got to shout out Kevin Chaos, man.
Chaos. Thank you,
I didn't expect he would make it because we're so in tune with the basketball scene. And we pretty much know everybody.
The OG, triple OG from the sideline from time.
I used to play ball with Chaos all the time. Like pick up ball. Yeah, see, I play all over, bro.
Look at that. Real talk. Look at that. Real talk.
Man. It's an honor for me as well, man. I heard so much great stories, and it's good to hear from you.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure, brother.
Appreciate that,
yes,
man.
Well,
one love.
That's it. That's it right there, man. You can follow us on Instagram, all our social media outlets, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, what else? Spotify, man.
Shout out Title League.
We're Hip Hop Me Too. Shout out Title League, our distant cousins. You know how that goes, man. Got the gold in the building, man. The top shotter is back. You already know.
Let's go.
We out.
One love. Yes, sir.